Okay, class is back in session. So today we're going to be going over 5 mind-blowing facts about mosasaurs that you never learned in school. So let's get started. Fact number 1. Mosasaurs were first discovered in 2009. Although they had been known for quite some time before then, it wasn't until 2009 when David Martill from the University of Portsmouth and his colleagues officially classified them as a new species. They found out that the fossils weren't actually a type of dinosaur, but instead were part of an entirely different group of marine reptiles called ichthyosaurs. And although they did look very similar to dinosaurs, their skeletal structure was much more closely related to modern-day lizards and snakes. Before this discovery, scientists believed that all large marine reptiles were actually dinosaurs. So finding this out completely changed our understanding of how these creatures evolved. The mosasaur is one of only 2 known groups of reptiles that developed a fully aquatic lifestyle, the other being the ichthyosaur. And just like their cousins, the ichthyosaurs, mosasaurs were well adapted for life in the water, with paddle-like limbs and a vertically flattened tail for propulsion. They also had small heads with huge jaws filled with sharp teeth for catching prey. Their eyes were on the top of their heads so they could see all around them without having to lift their heads up out of the water, kind of like a snake. They also had nostrils at the top of their snouts, which would help them breathe while mostly being submerged. Scientists think that mosasaurs spent almost their entire lives in the water, and most likely gave birth there too. They probably came up on land only to lay their eggs. Fact number 3. Mosasaurs lived during the late Cretaceous period. This was from about 100.5 to 66 million years ago. The mosasaur lived in what is now the Gulf of Mexico, and they were around for about 17 million years. It's believed that mosasaurs went extinct because of the asteroid impact that also killed off the dinosaurs. But there's evidence that suggests that mosasaurs may have actually died out before the asteroid hit. A recent study published in 2020 suggests that mosasaurs might have starved to death due to a lack of food. In the paper, the authors proposed that the Chicxulub asteroid impact may not have been the main cause of mosasaur extinction after all. Instead, they suggest that the extinction might have been caused by environmental changes that happened prior to the impact, such as a regression of the Tethys Ocean, which would have caused a reduction in the mosasaur's habitat, and subsequently a loss of food sources. These findings are supported by a study from 2021, which found that mosasaur bones from the Hell Creek Formation in Montana contain chemical signatures of starvation. The authors of the study concluded that the mosasaur population was already struggling before the asteroid impact, and that the impact simply caused their demise. Fact number 5. During the late Cretaceous period, mosasaurs were at the top of the food chain in the ocean. They were apex predators, which means that they were the ones at the top of the food chain and no other animal was at their level. There were many different types of mosasaurs, the largest of which was the Tylosaurus, which grew to around 55 feet in length. That's about the size of a school bus. They weighed several tons and had huge jaws full of sharp teeth that could easily tear through flesh. Paleontologists believe that mosasaurs hunted other marine reptiles such as ichthyosaurs and pliosaurs, as well as fish and sharks. One of the mosasaur's closest relatives, the alligator, still exists today and has been around for over 200 million years. They belong to a group of reptiles called archosaurs, which also includes crocodiles and dinosaurs. Alligators are cold-blooded animals that live in both fresh and salt water. They are carnivorous and will eat almost anything that moves. Just like mosasaurs, alligators can live in both fresh and salt water, and although they don't prefer it, they can adapt to living in the ocean if they need to. For example, during the winter months, when the temperature of the lakes and rivers they live in drops, they will move to the ocean to keep warm. Some people believe that mosasaurs were actually dinosaurs, but they're actually not. They're more closely related to modern-day lizards and snakes. Thanks for watching. See ya.